Good morning, self-love challengers. This morning's practice is going to be a brief, get your body ready to go outside and play. The idea would be to create warmth because I don't know how cold it is where you are right now, but I think it's like in the 40s this morning out here, which is moderate, but yet you still need to warm your body up if you plan to go do anything outside on this Saturday. So that's going to be the focus of our practice. A quick warm-up pre-activity. So go ahead and come to a standing position right at the front of the mat, and we're going to warm up with sun salutations. Reaching, grounding the feet, spreading the toes, and just take a moment placing your hands together at your heart center. Draw your attention to your breath. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. And exhale, fold the body. You can bend the knees a lot as you fold forward. Relax the head down. And inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. Step your feet out into plank right away. Drop the knees. Bring the chin down on the chest. And then inhale, take a small cobra. First back bend of the morning. All of your vinyasas can be done with this cobra, skipping the full upward facing dog. Press yourself back. Hips go towards your heels. Lengthen your arms, lengthen your spine, and then straighten your legs, keeping a subtle bend in the knees. Relax the head between the arms. Bend your knees, look to the front of your mat. Step your feet as far as you can towards your feet. Towards your hands, and then your hands can meet your feet, so you don't have to go all the way. This is first sun salutation. Go ahead and bring it to a flat back, so extending your heart forward slightly, making the sides of your body really long. And then exhale, fold, bend the knees a whole bunch, relax the head down. Press into your feet, the big toe mounds, and then inhale and draw yourself all the way to standing. Arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, the hands in front of the heart center. And repeat. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold with the knees bent. Inhale, coming up halfway. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step the feet back. This time, just the knees coming down, or you could do the previous version. You go down through half a push-up. Inhale, draw the chest through, roll the shoulders back. And we're going to press into the hands, lift the knees off the mat by pressing into the feet as well. So you're coming and lifting. Only thing touching is the hands and the tops of the feet. To go back, you could drop the knees, tuck the toes, lift the hips, and back in a downward facing dog. Give yourself some time here, making subtle adjustments so this feels comfortable for you. If this is ever strain on the wrist, downward facing dog can be done on the forearms. If you feel this a lot in your shoulders, bend the knees more, get more weight back into the hips. If this is not feeling comfortable for your body this morning, drop to the knees, and all of your downward facing dogs can be a child's pose. So you know those are your options. You can rewind and remind yourself. We're going to move forward and keep building the heat. Look to the front of the mat, step your feet up to the front of the mat, or the hands can meet the feet. Inhale, come up halfway. A little bend in the knees is always really nice. It's going to remind your legs to engage your muscles. So it's going to be using the muscles rather than straining the tendons or putting stress on the joints. Fold, press, rise all the way to standing, arms up and overhead. Exhale, the hands into the heart center. Once more, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Good morning, guys. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, step your feet back. Here's your chaturanga this time, no knees. You're welcome to use the knees. You go through half a push-up. Pull the chest through. Everything's hovering except for the hands and the tops of the feet. Lift through the belly, lift through the hips, and press back in a downward facing dog. Once again, reminding yourself, just leave the knees bent on this one. Keep the spine nice and safe. If you've been doing a lot of downward facing dogs in your yoga life, you're welcome to start to straighten those legs. But I don't want you to ground the back. So if you start to feel like your shoulders are creeping up towards your ears, like there's a stretch in your lower back, then keep the knees bent. Look to the front of your mat. Step your feet up to the front of the mat. Leave the knees slightly bent. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Press into your feet and rise all the way up to standing. And the key, the jewel here is those bent knees. So for me in my practice, I have a history of doing activities that haven't nurtured my lower back. When I remind myself to keep my knees bent, I am relieving days of discomfort within my lower back. So I'm going to deliver that to you, offer that up to you. You can use that. If it benefits you, do it. Otherwise, you can work with straight legs if that's how your practice has nurtured you. We're going to bend the knees a lot here, intentionally. So sit back into that Utkatasana or Thunderbolt pose. Reach the arms up, sit back. Get that heat by drawing the navel point into the spine, lifting up out of the pelvis. And then exhale, fold with slightly bent knees. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, step both your feet back. Moving through your Chaturanga with knees or without, and then inhaling into your upward facing dog. Exhale, lift the belly or use the knees to transition, downward facing dog. The right foot's going to step between the hands. We're going to keep the lunge here, squeeze the inner thighs together. You can drop the back knee down and inhale, reach the arms up. One breath up. And exhale, bring the hands down. Front foot steps back. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Lift through the belly, press back into downward facing dog. So we're just going to add greater intensity, building up this modified sun salutation. Left foot steps forward, back knee drops down. One breath, inhale up, lift up and out of the pelvis. Entire trunk of the body gets nice and light. And then exhale, plant the hands. Good morning, guys. Step the front foot back. And again, Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Lift the belly and press back through the hips. Look to the front of your mat, step your feet up to the front. Feet are hip width distance apart on this one. Sit yourself down and reach the arms up, finding that Utkatasana. And then press into the heels, rise all the way up to standing. Let's go ahead, exhale, reach the arms back behind you, interlace the fingers, rock the shoulders together as you drive the knuckles down towards the earth. Release the hands up. Exhale the hands into the heart center. Bend the knees, sweep down, touch the earth. Bring the arms all the way up into Utkatasana. Belly draws in towards the back of the spine. Exhale, fold the body forward. Subtle bend in the knees. Inhale, coming up to that flat back. When you come to the flat back, the legs can be slightly straighter. Fold, plant the hands. Both feet step or jump back. Your variation of this movement. Use the knees if that is where your body needs to be in your practice today. Inhale, lift the heart. And then exhale, downward facing dog. This time, the right foot's going to step between the hands. The back heel's going to spiral down, and you're going to take that warrior one pose. The hips are square to the front of your mat. Inhale up. Exhale. Slide that back foot back a little farther. This is going to help you keep the hips square as you go forward. Step the front foot back. And come down through Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step the left foot between the hands. Spiral that back heel down on the ground. Once you do that, you activate that back thigh, so you're going to actually internally rotate it. So the inner thigh of the inner part of that back thigh is really pulling in towards the center line of your body, and that's how you can actively, stably rise up in a stable way. And then let's exhale, bring the hands down. Front leg steps back. And I'm going to take this one all the way down to my belly. Roll my shoulders back and get into the back of the body a little bit more here. Squeeze interlace the hands behind me. Drive the knuckles down towards my heels. Release. Press yourself up and back and move it to the other side. Left foot's going to step between the hands. Back heel's going to spiral down. Inhaling as I pull the back thigh up. I think I just repeated my both sides. So you just got an extra one. So we're going to do that again. Chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog. You can never work warrior one too much when you're warming up. We're going to set the right foot forward, spiral the back heel down. Inhale. There we go. Now you're even. Exhale, plant the hands. Chaturanga. All the way down to the belly though. Roll the shoulders back. Squeeze the shoulders together. And then release. Press yourself up. Push yourself back. Downward facing dog. Stay in downward facing dog for a few breaths. Grab some water. Look to the front of your mat and step your feet up to the front of the mat. Inhale, come up halfway, knees slightly bend. Exhale, fold. Sit the hips back. Utkatasana, reach the arms up. Stand up and rise. We're going to bring all this together and add a little bit more heat cultivating movements. Sweep down, touch the earth, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold the body forward, let knees slightly bend. Inhale, coming up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back. Let's go all the way down and then pull up into cobra. So you can do a little cobra. So cobra keeps the hips on the ground, the thighs on the ground, the knees on the ground, and then you lift the chest, the heart forward. If you have the space, you can go higher if that feels safe for you. You want to keep the hips on the ground and you're really pulling with the palms, pulling your body forward towards the front of your mat so you extend your heart forward. And then press yourself back. Step your right foot between your hands. Inhaling it up. Then place your back heel down and open your arms up and come into Virabhadrasana B, Warrior B. We're going to go into a little bit of heat here. We're going to exhale, release, reach back, and then inhale, just sweeping the elbow down towards the front knee. Bringing the arms into this movement with breath. A lot of heat is going to be built through the base of the body. And then the next time, your right hand's going to go down onto the inside of your front foot. You're going to straighten your front leg. If that's too far to go for you today, your hand can be on your shin bone, or you could place something underneath your hand, or even put your hand on a chair so that you feel lifted, not like you're collapsing and rounding forward. Top hand's going to reach forward, pick up that back heel, drop that back knee down, plant the hands, and then lift up the back leg because this is going to make it easier to step your front foot back. And we'll go down through our vinyasa. So all the way down, peel up the head and the chest, draw the shoulders back and down to the heart, forward to the front of your mat. Tuck the toes, lift the pelvis up, press back in a downward facing dog. Step the left foot between the hands. First we come up through that lunge that we built. Inhale, reach up. And then we exhale, we drop that back heel down, and we're going to open up to the wide, long part of the mat. I'm going to turn. Left foot forward. Arms extending out. Virabhadrasana B. And then we get a little bit of a prana flow to it, a little bit of movement to really start to wake that body up. So we're going to exhale, reach it back into reverse warrior. And then inhale, taking it a deep side angle pose, Parsvarottanasana. And then it's that breath that helps guide the movement. And then the next time we come forward, we're going to go ahead, straightening the front leg. The hand's going to either rest on the shin bone or down to the ground or down to a prop. And you want to be able to feel like you're sliding between two panes of glass. If it's too much to look up, look down. If it's too much for your shoulder to reach your hand up and out, drop the hand behind you. So lots of ways that you can be here and really work some energy into the base of the body. Actively press down the outer edge of your back foot. That should fire up some awareness through the outside of your hip, deep into those glute muscles, deep underneath there. You're going to actually get into the piriformis, an area that tends to be short and tight and can cause inflammation. It can press on your nerves, and then it can cause sciatica sensations. And so this is this area we really want to work to try to create some length in. And then we're going to go ahead and bend that front leg and spiral that top hand down to the ground. Pick up that back heel. It's going to make it easier for you to step your front foot back. And we'll go down all the way to the belly this time. We're going to roll the shoulders back behind us. Press the heels of the hands together, peel up the head and the chest, and if it feels good to you, you can actually float the legs up as well. Taking a deeper back bend here. And we'll hold this and breathe here. Extend your heart forward, draw your belly in. If you feel pressure in the lower back, reach the chest forward more and come out of the lower back. Don't worry about going up as much as you should be thinking about making your body long, and that's what lifts you up. And then release. Tuck the toes and press back into a child's pose. So we're going to go ahead and we'll flip it over onto our backs. Not doing anything fancy. I want to keep this heat, but I want to give you a chance to get into those hips a little bit. So let's go ahead and we're going to bring it to number 4. Bring the ankle or reverse pigeon. Ankle right below the knee. Interlace the hands. They're going to go under the thigh. Number 1. Try that first. See if you can still feel your shoulder blades pressing down on the mat. If it's really accessible, super easy, and you feel like your sacrum is flat, then take it a little bit deeper. Interlace the fingers right below the knee. And actively, very actively draw this package in towards you. Flex both feet. And then you're going to release, but you're going to hold on to the left leg as you release the right leg. You can keep the right leg bent to start. And you're going to grab behind the thigh of that left leg. You can extend the opposite leg if you want. If you have a strap, you can place a strap over the foot. If you have the space, you may be able to grab the big toe, depending on how much length you can get through the hamstring. I want that left shoulder still to be placed on the ground. So this interlacing behind the thigh allows for that and allows you to direct the movement. We're not trying to get necessarily this shin bone to the face. That's a whole nother thing, and I'll show you. We'll do a little bit of that to keep the heat. Really just trying to get some length. For a breath, we're going to take the Ashtanga version here. We're going to inhale, bring the forehead up towards the shin bone, draw the lower back down towards the mat. So this is going to be, you can see shin bone moving up, forehead moving towards shin bone, pressing, flexing the foot still, and breathing. 2 more breaths. Leg is straight, quadricep is engaged on both legs. And then exhale, coming down, I'm going to drop the leg out to the side, opening everything up, and let my gaze go in the opposite direction. Inhale, coming up. Once I come up, I'm going to keep my heat by bringing my forehead up towards my shin bone. One more time, 1 breath. And then exhale, release. Release out the leg. And then bring the opposite ankle up. Place it on top of my knee, and interlace my fingers first behind my thigh. Flex both my feet. Check in. If I can keep my lower back on the ground, if I can keep my shoulders on the ground, I can take it a little bit deeper, interlacing my hands just below my knee, over my shin bone. then from here, I'm going to release, hold on to the right foot, either keeping that left leg bent slightly, or for more advanced, depending on how much space you have in your hip flexor, your psoas, you may be able to straighten it. Interlacing the hands behind the thighs, drawing that thigh closer towards the abdomen. If you have a strap, you can be holding a strap. If you have longer hamstrings, you can use your hand to hold the foot. Contracting the quadricep muscle. So the leg is straight here. Safe place to have straight legs. The reverse of when we were standing. I'm encouraging the straight leg here, not the hyperextension. So if you go straight and you notice your knee takes the opposite direction, keep a little bit of a bend so you have the contraction, the leg muscles doing the work. And then we're going to go into that Ashtanga variation. Bringing the forehead up towards the shin bone, keeping the heat in the body. And coming out of that, opening the leg up and off to the side. Let the gaze go in the opposite direction. And then draw the leg up. Both knees come in, forehead in towards the knees, little tight squeeze, tee out the arms, and then you can cross one leg over the other if you like, or drop the knees down, even, just a 90-degree angle there. And then, if you want, you can straighten the top leg and actually reach for that foot. So I drop my legs towards the left, and my top leg is my right. So when I straighten my right leg, I can actually reach with my left hand to my foot. And then, an option for even more here is with my opposite hand that's behind me, I'm going to grab the free foot. Release. And then come back to center, draw my knees in, give myself a squeeze. Tee out my arms, 90 degrees. There's always a little bit of a lift of the hips towards the opposite direction that I'm dropping my knees, and that's going to better align the trunk of my body for the twist. So you can stay once you drop the knees off to the right. Stay right where you are, enjoy that. If you want a little bit more, you could straighten the top leg. Reach for it with the opposite hand. And then the bottom can kick back a little bit, and the hand behind you can actually reach for those toes. Bring everything back in. Squeeze. Bring the bottoms of the feet together. Release the knees out. Come into Supta Baddha Konasana. Bound ankle pose or butterfly legs. And resting your hands on your belly. And just follow your breath for a moment here. All of that movement, helping to push things, static things that have been just getting heavy within you. Considering things that you do not need so that you can move in a body that's free and open to receive. When you're ready, extending the legs out. Relaxing your hands down by your side. Stay here for the next 5, 10, 20 minutes. Just enjoying your Saturday morning or afternoon. I'm going to hit end to the video, but please enjoy, milk the moments, right, the sacred space that you're holding right now in your body, and give yourself some time for your Shavasana. So I bow to you and honor your dedication and time to this practice and to your own body, and I hope that you enjoy your weekend in a lighter, more free, and warmer state. Namaste.